Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Steel City Blitz Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And I know they're pretty excited down there. The Dolphins winning last week. And so hello to everybody at the deck bar down there. And I would just like to start out on this program by reprimanding each and every one of you for picking the Bengals to win last week. You're all awful fans, awful people. How you could ever go against the Bengals or against the Steelers, I have no idea. But ultimately, the Steelers pulled out a victory, and I should add myself in that chastising because I also picked the Bengals. But nevertheless, it's going to be an in and out type of show tonight. We got Ryan Scarpino is here, Ben Anderson is here. We expect to see Ian pop in at some point. We also expect probably Miss Ellie Finnerty. We're not sure if she's dropping in or not, but she's always welcome, of course. And you are always welcome, of course, as well. And I got to post the link in the socials here shortly. But anyway, gentlemen, I hope you are well tonight. And Scarpino, I'm going to go to you first so Ben can finish chewing his dinner there. What was your overall impressions as that game unfolded on Sunday? What were you taking away from it?
Yeah, last week I said that I thought that game was more about the Bengals than it was the Steelers because I expected the Steelers defense, or I'm sorry, I thought that the formula for success for the Steelers was their defense was going to play really well. I didn't think they'd play that well. And then the offense would capitalize off of turnovers, and that's pretty much what happened. But the Bengals, I don't want to necessarily say they came out flat. I really do think the Steelers were schemed up well. Minka was in great position, and to me that's a testament to Terrell Austin and Brian Flores. I think the Steelers defensive coaches are awesome. We'll talk about offense later. But I give credit to the Bengals because I thought that game was just, and I knew they played really bad, but I expected them to just lay over, lay down and just keel over. And you know what? They fought back, and they thought they had the game-winning touchdown, but you know what? I mean, long snappers matter. Just remember that. What was it? Was it Greg?
The long snapper wasn't at fault there. The snap was fine.
It was Drew.
On that extra point.
They're blocking tight end Drew Semple. Totally.
Yeah. Drew Semple he olayed. He just blew it.
And give Minka credit because that was great. But if he just barely touches Minka, that's game over. I mean,
he just chips him. One hand.
But still, so I think in my opinion, I think the Bengals would be in better shape than the Steelers are moving forward, especially with the TJ Watt injury and especially what we saw on offense. But, a win is a win. And I know it could have went the other way about 15 different times, but, 1-0 is 1-0, especially 1-0 in the North.
Hey, guys, I want to just real quickly give a shout out to somebody that is listening from Korea, 76 Corvette. And first of all, if you're in the military, thank you so much, and appreciate what you're doing over there. And if you're not, I still appreciate it. But either way, welcome to the show. It is a different hour over there for sure. Ben, your thoughts as Sunday unfolded. I know you go ahead, crack your beer. Beautiful. I know you watch with a very large group of people. So what was your take?
Well, first, I just want to note for the record that no one mentioned fantasy football the entire 3.5, 4 hours we were sitting there.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty great.
That's got to be a first.
Nobody cheered for any Bengals. Okay. There were none of those assholes present at the bar on Sunday. Thank you, baby Jesus. And next, obviously, I thought it was going to be a blowout and go the other way.
I did too.
I really thought it was going to be awful and that we were going to get humiliated and be, pissed, dejected. The Steelers defense, I knew they were good. I did not expect greatness week one. That was stellar. And it really sucks losing TJ Watt. And, as Scarps put it right after the game, I'd take a 30-point loss and not having lost TJ Watt. And I agree. I would have the same. They're saying 6 weeks. My instinct is more like, after the bye-ish.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes back, he's not going to be 100%. You want to bring him in gradually. So whenever he's ready, he's ready. You don't save him for an opponent, in my opinion. You bring him back when he's ready to play, because he's not going to play 90% of the snaps when he comes back. We're going to have to come back in.
I agree with you. I mean, you and I, and Ryan too, we've all been around this game long enough to know that a pectoral injury, it takes a while.
I strained my pec badly once. Strained it, and it killed me for 2 months after.
Yeah, it just takes a while.
A tear, thinking that guy's going to come back in 6 weeks at 100%. Absolutely not. I realize, he's an athlete. He's a professional athlete. Those guys are built differently. I get all of that. But, soft tissue is soft tissue. It takes as long as it takes to heal. He is not going to be 100% this season. Remember Stephon Tuitt?
Yeah.
When he tore his bicep?
Yes.
And it wasn't a complete tear. It was the top of the bicep rather than the bottom. And, he could come back the same season. He wasn't the same.
No.
And it's going to be similar. He's going to be effective when he comes back, but he's not going to be TJ Watt effective when he comes back.
Are you concerned at all that, we know he's not going to be 100% like you said, but could he do further damage and then puts the beginning of next year in jeopardy?
Okay, well, here's my understanding of this entire thing and the way it played out. Initially, the Steelers doctors were like, yeah, this isn't that bad. We thought it was going to be a lot worse. You can rehab it and you can come back and you can play 4 to 6 weeks, whatever, And that's just a guess right now. We'll see how it goes, but you can come back this season and play. And Watt was like, I don't know. I'm going to take this seriously. He talked to his brother, who told him to take the injury seriously. And he needed to be convinced. So he went and got some other opinions, 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And my feeling is that if he had been told by one of those doctors that playing again this season could potentially, or had the high potential to make that worse, he would have shut down for the season. Instead, what he was told was, you can rehab through this and you can play through the year, and you might need surgery after the season, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But you can play through this. And, the risk of greater injury is there, but it's not high enough that, you need to really worry about it. So he came back and he played, or he's going to come back and play. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the original question. Steelers special teams played great. Defense obviously was elite, stellar. Don't drum, Mark.
Sorry.
Steelers offense, not so good. Not so good at all.
I want to stay on the defense first, and then we'll get to the offense, because I know we're going to have a lot of comments.
All right. Well, I wasn't going to get into details about the offense. You just asked me for the broad strokes of the game.
Yeah. That's fine.
The defense won that game. Absolutely won it.
No
question. Minkah Fitzpatrick,
At the beginning,
had he not played, we would have lost.
Badly.
We would have lost. And it isn't just the 2 big plays. He frustrated Jamar Chase the entire game long. That guy was getting pissed.
When you give a guy the double barrel salute, you're pissed.
But they both had great games. Like
they did.
Yes. And then so here's my thing, and I talked about it earlier. They were that close, and I know, almost winning is the same as the loss, but everybody knew the ball was going to Jamar Chase on that final play.
Oh yeah,
and it went. So I look at that as the Steelers defense played such an amazing game, but they were that close to being and they gave up a lot of yards. And of course, that's just the way it is. The Bengals were terrible in that first half, thanks to the Steelers defense putting pressure on them and scheming them the right way. But that second half, I messaged the group. I was like, I'm getting nervous, man. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
because then we talk about the offense. But I thought, so like Cam said this today, but they still gave up 130 something rushing yards.
Right.
That's not something that they take pride in. Okay, Mixon, besides that one long run, he was pretty much held in check. But from my perspective, and this happens, this is the way it is, but the guys made plays. Like I don't know if I can recall that many times like a defensive back or a group of defensive backs, including Minka, made plays like instinctive plays, like whether it was Cam Sutton's interception or just tackling or just being where you needed to be. And I think that, in my opinion, I think that's credit to Terrell Austin. I really do. And this is no disrespect to Keith Butler, but I just think that like what we're used to seeing, like Vince Williams on Keenan Allen in clutch situations.
No, that's not happening.
No,
I
it didn't
don't
happen.
think that's
No.
going to happen moving forward. Hallelujah,
Well,
I think since we're talking about little things.
Well, Ben, let me jump in real
the-
quick because you
Go
said
ahead.
this, and I think this is a very, very important point. You made this comment during the game that the tackling,
That's where I was going.
was better. So I'll just leave it to you. Go ahead.
The biggest thing that jumped out to me during the first half was they were coming to a point of balance and then making the tackle consistently, all of them. They weren't just trying to fly through the ball carrier, fly through the backfield, passing the play, trying to get there as fast as they possibly could. They would get there quickly and then slow down, come to a point of balance, and stop the ball carrier. And that, to me, was, I think, the biggest reason that the defense was different. Now, yes, the defensive front was looking for every opportunity they possibly could find to bat down balls. There were 2 picks along the defensive front.
Yeah.
That was insane. 2 forced fumbles, 1 that we collected, 7 sacks. Joe Burrow himself had 5 turnovers. I mean,
I never dreamed that was going to happen. Never.
Neither did I. And when you look at that part of it and all of the gifts that the defense gave to the offense, the Steelers should have won by 21.
Yeah.
Not by 3 in overtime.
No, you'll get no argument here.
Okay. So the offense, not very good.
No. The tackling stood out to me.
Icy light?
And then, is that what are you drinking, Scarps?
No, it's
No.
that.
It's something fancy.
I don't know. Leffy. I don't fucking know. It's Belgian ale.
Holy jeez, you can't even
Leffe.
pronounce a damn thing.
Whatever.
Just the communication looked smoother. I mean, you can't say enough about Minka. I mean, just what a difference from last year, where he had to be the guy coming down to the box and making a tackle because the run defense was so bad. Now you saw what happened when the run defense is a little better. He can sit back and just play.
He can just freelance. Which
oh my God! What a difference!
Yeah.
And obviously, Watt was tremendous. Cam had a great day. I think Larry Ogunjobi made
Larry Ogunjobi balled out.
Yep,
Yeah, he
made
played
some
well.
terrific.
That
plays.
was a good signing, man.
Right, and I think it's great. I think it's going to give Tyson Alu enough breathers where he's going to be in a situation he's not going to feel like he's got all the pressure on him.
He's not going to feel like he's 35.
Well, that too. And let me get to what had been the elephant in the room for a long, long time, in the name of Devin Bush.
He had a nice game.
Ryan, what'd you think?
He must have been listening to podcasts last week. I mean, again, like we talked about this last week. Like we all knew who was going to step up, and I don't think we knew that they were going to step up as much as they did.
No.
But I mean, again, if there was a time when Devin Bush, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and say he was all pro or a pro bowler, but he didn't make, at least from my point of view, I'm sure he made mistakes if the coaches said it, but There was never a play where I was like, oh, he sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's
I thought he was pretty assignment sound. Now
Yeah,
there were moments where he didn't execute perfectly.
Sure.
But he was where he was supposed to be when the play was in his area, in his vicinity.
He definitely looked interested, right?
Yeah.
Like, right?
Like he was there to play.
Like
no
it
question.
didn't look like he was just like there for fun. Like he
was not there for a paycheck. He was there. He was there to play, and he played pretty well. I'd like to see more of that.
I would too. And Ben, I'll ask you real quick. What did you make of the rotation? I did not think, even with Bush being kind of as iffy as he's been, I didn't think we'd see Spillane that much.
Robert Spillane on third down was pissing me the fuck off. Okay. He can't cover anyone. He can't.
No.
All right.
No.
And his tackling wasn't that great on Sunday. It's like, this is the thing we need you to do. That big tight end coming through the middle, catching the ball 2 yards short of the first down. We need you to stop him. That's why you're there. And you can't even fucking do that. Why are you on the field? You can't cover. They know they're going to get a completion to that guy that you're covering, but then stop him.
I think that, Ben, no, I agree. It ended up being three or four defensive backs played like 100 snaps.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which is insane. But I think that they were being cognizant of the fact that it was sticky. It was definitely sticky in Pittsburgh last Sunday. And they were talking about, like, you could feel the air. I think that they were really just trying to help with conditioning. And
that makes sense.
I agree with you, Ben, though. Like, to me, I'm done with the Spillane experiment. He's a good backup on occasion, but
Spillane seems like a good dude too. I don't want to give anybody the idea
I agree.
that I have something personal against him. I don't. No. It's just, God.
Yeah,
play better.
I think we were enamored 2 years ago. He had the big hit on Derrick Henry. He had the pick six in Baltimore. And I think when those things happen, people all of a sudden get a very overinflated opinion of a player. And again, I would echo what you were saying, Ben. Great guy, hard worker, guy has busted his ass. Man. It's just, you are what you are, and ultimately what he is a throwback linebacker that just doesn't fit, especially as it pertains to coverage in today's NFL.
Well, Spillane is not a guy who should be playing how many snaps?
He got hurt though, but yeah.
29 snaps. He's not a guy.
More than that.
Yeah, he should be playing 29 snaps, especially in passing situations. On rundowns, put him in there.
And
go ahead.
This is just me. Again, I don't necessarily know what they think they have in that rotation when it comes to those situations, because Miles Jack is new. Then you got Devin, who has shown glimpses of positivity throughout his career. He showed negativity too.
Yep.
And then even Bobby Spillane has shown positivity and negativity. So I think they're trying to test it out. But we all know that Robert Spillane is a liability in coverage. So,
And I want to add on too. Everybody was so high on Mark Robinson. And with every reason, okay, he played really well in the preseason. He worked hard. He had a great training camp, but he was inactive on Sunday, and I think that just gives you an idea how difficult just getting a helmet can be sometimes. As well as he played, and he didn't play on Sunday, so they're obviously
probably is not a good enough special teams player.
That could be very well too, Ben. Hey, real quick, don't forget that we are very happy to be part of the Pigskin Podcast Network, which means we are part of DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TPPN to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code TPPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. All right. Yeah, so I didn't do well. Scarps, how'd your bets go last week, by the way?
I did okay.
That's good for you.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, and I say the 49ers were not friendly, but
oh man,
what a bunch of bums. Anyway, I was okay. We're okay. I'm still alive in a lot of survivor polls. You know.
How about that Belichick team there last week?
Not a Belichick team. They didn't look anything like a Belichick
They
team.
always stink in Miami. They do not do well in Miami.
No, they don't.
They do not. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the Pats here shortly.
Talk yo shit, Ben. Okay, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I like I said, we'll get to that. Okay, guys, I have a question on defense before we shift over to offense. Was Akello Witherspoon, why was he so far off on the touchdown to Jamar Chase? And Ben, I'll let you tackle that one first. Is it just me, or why would you be so far off in that situation?
That was the coverage that was called. I mean,
okay.
For lack of a better way of putting it, I don't think that he fans seem to get the impression that players decide where they're going to line up. Right?
Very true.
Like I used to know guys that thought that Ike Taylor lined up, as an off man cover corner because that was the way Ike wanted to line up. That's bullshit. Right. That's what the coaches tell him to do, and so he's doing it. Okay? So, if you want to be pissed about somebody about schematics, you go back to the coaches and you ask them what the hell they're thinking. I think what they thought there was, we don't have any help over top. We need to give this guy some cushion because Jamar Chase is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Witherspoon's got a chance to stop him if we give him a big cushion.
Ryan, go ahead. I mean, I've got some thoughts, but and also welcome in Ellie here. We'll get her thoughts here in just a second.
This is no disrespect to Witherspoon, but like Jamar Chase is a
He's
baller.
He
is a game breaker. And even though, and I said this earlier, like we all knew where it was going, but like that is a lonely place to be. And coming from a guy that was never athletic enough to ever play a skill position or even play the defensive back, let alone in the league. I mean, at that point, you just got to be like, you know what? I'm going to do my best with the coverage that I'm assigned. And that's the other thing too. And I know Steelers Twitter was a little cocky this week. First of all, Jamar Chase is unbelievable. Second of all, Joe Burrow was shitty, but that dude is still a good football plarer. And
Joe Burrow got harassed by that defensive front all game long. And that had nothing to do with Joe Burrow being shitty.
But that dude, I told you, I was starting to get nervous, but because that dude has that.
He just keeps coming back. Yes. They just keep whooping his ass, and he just keeps coming back to eat more and more and more of it. It was impressive. I thought.
So another thing too is maybe Witherspoon thought they were going to throw. I don't know. Maybe he thought, I don't care. I'm not going to put too much on him. I'm fine with that because it was a good read. It was a quick out, and it was just perfect. And honestly. I don't know who would have been able to stop that. Yeah,
and I don't think anybody would have. That's why I wondered why he was so far off. I just thought that's the one thing he couldn't give up. It's like, okay, if he takes the slant, well, then you've got maybe some help inside. If he tries to run the little fade route, now you're just being an athlete up against him. And he's a great athlete, but Witherspoon's got some long arms. So I don't know. It just seemed odd to me. But anyway.
I don't disagree with you. Maybe you try to give him inside leverage to push him back toward the defense rather than giving him the outside. I don't know. Again, what Ryan just said, I'm not out there. I don't know how he read it. I don't know what his assignment was. It's really hard to grade that moment.
No question. No question. And yeah. Anyway, Miss Ellie, how are you this fine evening?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. We're doing great. It's a victory week, as you well know. Just real quick, what were your thoughts Sunday watching this? Because we all had the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Steelers, and I don't think any of us had this less than a 10-point win. So as this is unfolding, what's going through your head?
I mean, if we're going to go based on our predictions, then I guess you would call it very successful.
Didn't you pick the Steelers?
No, I actually didn't. And then you told me how I was changing as a person because I was becoming.
Well, actually, I was chastising all of them.
Right.
Not you, Ellie. Just us.
No, I did not have them winning. I think all of us said they were going to lose this.
We did.
So I guess from that perspective, it's successful. I think there were moments, and certainly the defense, where you could say amazing the way they stepped up, and definitely things we wanted to see. But what I really wanted to see, kind of what happened on defense, but happening offensively. And really, we didn't see too much of that at all. So I'm still worried moving into the next week.
Well, join the club. So let's talk a little offense here. Ryan, what was your just overall take on Mitch Trubisky? Let's just start with the quarterback play.
Oh,
We for those out there, we do this. We talk amongst ourselves. And
we talk
I
shit
just
amongst ourselves all the time.
I just, to me, I thought Mitch threw off his back foot way too many times. I thought that he did push the ball down the field. I think he tied for the most attempts 20 yards down the field in the league, but he definitely missed some throws. Yep. He looked hesitant. God bless him. He found Muth when it mattered most. But I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's route running in the middle of the field, but this has been a topic on Twitter all week that there's still no middle of the field action. There's nothing in the middle of the field. And I know he got the ball to Muth late. And again, good for him for seeing that. But for me, I didn't expect more or less from Mitch, but I thought that he might make a couple better throws. And are we talking total offense or just Mitch?
Yeah, right now, just Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I oh my God, and I guarantee you, so many people were like, put Pickett in, but you know what? When push came to shove, he got the fucking job done.
He did.
He got the job done. And Boz, who's always usually money, and I was like, all right, Mitch, you need one good, and then Deontay too. Obviously, great catch by him, but Mitch made some really good throws on that final drive.
He did, and I think that's ultimately what I settled on too. Is he missed a lot of throws, throwing off the back foot, but made some plays when he had to. Ben,
mixed bag, but I thought that Mitch was as advertised. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He missed some throws, left some throws out there that he should have made. He found some throws late in plays and broken plays that, were good throws. He had some throws where his mechanics, especially his footwork, were off.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they were less than stellar throws. So it was a mixed bag. It was all over the place. Comes back to what we were talking about before, though. Ben Roethlisberger was not a good athlete anymore. We all know that. We all acknowledge it. He didn't even have a great arm anymore. But what he had going for him was his brain. He'd been out there for so long that he could pick apart defenses quickly and process information and get the ball out fast in less than 2.5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're going to miss that. We're going to miss that this year. We don't have that quality in the quarterback room. That's not to say we should have kept Ben. It was time.
Right.
It was time. I want to be clear. It was time for Ben to go.
Yeah.
But, there are qualities the old guys got that the younger guys don't. And that's one of them. Being able to process information quickly and get the ball out to the right guy is, it's not necessarily Mitch's forte at this point. Now it's a new offense, and thank God the offensive line was not terrible pass blocking. One quick point on that, because I've railed on the guy since they signed him about how bad he was. Mason Cole was not that bad in pass protection. He was pretty good. He's not good against the run. He's not good at run blocking at all. But in pass pro, he's pretty okay. You know, I was pleasantly surprised. Going into the game, I was terrified.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of relief in some ways, because I thought the Bengals would get to Trubisky more often.
They've got a good defensive front.
They do. It's athletic, and I thought they would. But as often as we rail against this offensive line, especially in run blocking, I thought they were okay.
They did all right. It wasn't great, but it was pretty okay. It really was pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you've got a good quarterback, pretty good is good enough.
Absolutely. I think that's a good phrase. That belongs on a T-shirt, actually. Before I bring Ian into the show here, Ellie,
is that sign language?
Maybe. I don't know. When you were watching Trubisky, did you at any point think, okay, we need to replace him? Or were you sticking with Mitch the whole way?
Sticking with Mitch the whole way. My thing about replacing this, especially this early in the season, and it does not mean that I think that Kenny Pickett wouldn't be successful, because I would always hope for the best. But let's say he goes out there and has just as abysmal time. Who are you calling for now?
Mason.
Mason to get out of his street clothes.
At least Scarps would be happy.
Well.
Hey, man, there was a bus. There was a bus, and you weren't getting out of the way, so I just gave you a little nudge.
Well, I think there were throws that maybe Pickett makes, but in no way, in any way, shape, or form, was I sitting there thinking you got to make the switch. I think, Jay Glazer, who's very close with Mike Tomlin, he tweeted before the game, he said the plan is for Kenny Pickett to basically ride the pine all year. Now, I don't know that I believe that.
I do.
But I can see it.
It's a solid plan, honestly.
Yeah, ultimately it is. I'm a little surprised, as we've talked about, because of his age and his experience in college. But, it is what it is. And if that's the decision that the Steelers have made, then so be it. Let me bring Ian in. I hope he's doing very, very well tonight.
I am.
Excellent.
How much have you had to drink, Ian?
A couple.
Only a couple?
Only a
By the
couple.
way, let's share what we are drinking tonight. It's a nice time to do
more
that.
than a couple?
Ian, look what I have.
That stuff is great. I have some in my cupboard. It's so good.
It's fantastic.
Redemption
I just got
bourbon.
it this weekend.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 different types.
Yeah.
There's a rye and a couple other ones.
I have the same one you do. I'm drinking Terry Bradshaw's Finest since we kicked off the season with a victory.
Beautiful. I actually got to get some more.
I don't have a bottle I can open of that. The only one I have left is batch number 1, and I'm not drinking it.
No, don't touch that, baby. Ian, what did you think of Mitchell Trubisky's performance? We've had some input on it, but what did you see?
Going back through the all-22, he missed some throws, but Joe Burrow missed some throws too. Burrow had guys running wide open through the secondary and didn't hit them. Trubisky missed some throws. I thought the best 2 plays of the game came from about the 40-yard line that were the sort of pre-scripted, throws to the tight ends. That the one was sort of the pseudo flea flicker, and the other one was the screen pass to Gentry. The pass to Najee on the goal line was also a well-designed play. But other than that, honestly, my biggest complaint in the game was more Matt Canada's play calling and play design than anything about Trubisky's performance. That Canada called some dumbass plays, and especially in some dumb situations. And it just, I don't know. There were 2 third downs. They called the exact same play, and it didn't work the first time. And shocker, it didn't work the second time either.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And part of it too, I think, is that when you have 11 drives during a game and only one of them produces more than 1 first down on a drive, like the only time they had more than 1 first down on a drive was their touchdown drive. All the other ones were either 0 or 1 during regulation. So it's really hard to get into a rhythm offensively. Some of that's on Mitch, some of that's on the play calling. It was just all around a very sloppy offensive performance, and it starts with the coaches on down.
Well, let's dive into Mr. Matt north of the border.
I am. I will say, since I joined late, I am wearing my Minka Mania shirt.
Oh, outstanding.
That you can find
Yeah.
on the DC4L site, I still believe.
Yes, you can.
I'm wearing a shirt I found in the strip for like $6.
Oh, I know exactly where you found it too. You got it for about $6. Canada. Okay. Scarps.
Sup?
Apparently, we're getting in the way of Scarps, whatever the hell he's doing there.
I'm watching a game.
Oh, Jesus, this guy.
Am I not allowed?
Nah, fucking with you. He's multitasking. What did you think of Matt Canada in the post-Ben era?
Well, besides quarterback mobility, it looked awfully similar. I can't believe I'm going to fucking defend this guy, but
Okay.
I feel like
Canada dry.
This is I can't even describe what kind of Canada dry this is. This is definitely not the Canada dry like ginger ale lemonade combo. It's terrible. I feel like they don't trust the line, or Canada doesn't trust the line. Because
would you?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't. But my thing is, then what have you been investing your picks in?
You're preaching
You're
to the
gonna
choir,
okay,
buddy.
Okay, so anyway, so that's fine. So getting back to Canada, if they're not trusting their line, then is he doing cute ass things to disguise their blemishes? It's like, listen, dude, we all know you got pimples. Like you don't gotta lie to me. So, and I think I might have tweeted this the other day, or maybe I just texted it to y'all, but I was like, I need another jet sweep. I need another chase.
Did you notice, Ryan, the misdirection on all those jet sweeps was fooling the cameramen, but not fooling the Bengals?
Yes. So like, and that's the other thing. Like, once again, like, Chase Claypool was your leading rusher, and they spent a first round pick on Najee Harris. And listen, I'm not going to shit on Najee. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, hell no.
But Najee did not look good the other day. He looked hurt. He looked slow.
Doesn't look healthy.
I don't know if that.
He's
and
not
I don't know if
100%.
that's. That's a topic of conversation for another thing. Anyway, getting back to Canada, I think Canada, I can't believe I'm defending him. This might be the last week of this. I think he's doing the best he can with what he has because he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus. But then when he talks to the media, he basically is like, I think our O-line's fine. Maybe
what you're
tell them
saying,
they suck. Light a fire under their ass. Do something. But like the dude is so bland. I can't even describe.
Yeah.
I can't even describe it. Like, because you know what? Chase Claypool had a great rookie year. Remember, he had all those touchdowns, and then all the teams figured out. I'm going to tell you, and we're going to talk about this eventually, but all the Steeler fans out there right now that are like, oh, we're going to beat the Patriots. Do you still know who is their head coach? Do you not think right now he's like literally thinking, oh, they don't have TJ Watt. They got this bum ass offense. Like we're going to be 1-1. Like, do you think, and I know Matt Patricia's calling the plays, but when it comes down to
which is its own comedy show.
Yes. Yeah. But do you not think Bill Belichick is telling Matt Patricia what they need to do this week, or he's telling his son or Gerard Mayo, hey, here's what we need to do on defense this week?
So I think
interesting
that Scarps basically just compared Matt Canada to Mason Rudolph. So Mason Rudolph is the
I hate you.
Sakes.
Matt Canada is the Mason Rudolph of offensive coordinators. He's just trying to make it easy on the team and keep it really bland.
Interesting subplot. I don't know if you guys talked about this before I got on, but Brian Flores has had a lot of success against Bill Belichick teams in the past.
Sorry, Big Ben's burner. I'm just listen. I get told all the time I'm too negative. So I'm trying to be a little bit more positive.
No,
man.
He's a fucking naysayer. He tries to play devil's advocate all the time. This is just Scarps. This is what he does.
That
He's
is
like,
not
but
I'm leaving. I'm leaving permanently.
You are not.
I'm going to Canada.
Blame
I'm just kidding.
Canada.
I'm just kidding.
Blame
Yeah,
Canada.
there we go. We'll be singing that song by the end of the season. We should note this moment right now on the podcast because Ian just came up with the song.
Blame Canada.
Yeah, from the South Park movie.
Look at Scarps had to like check out for a minute.
Look at that.
He's either
Aaron with the power of positivity.
he's either pissing or he's getting another beer. One of the two.
Hey, Aaron, really happy to hear about your fantasy team.
Yeah,
Piss off.
You can tell Ben's ecstatic. Ellie, could you tell when a jet sweep was coming? Were you starting to get the feeling? Oh, here it is again. Here it is again.
I mean, yes, I did feel that it was repetitive is definitely the word that I would use to describe our offense for a number of years. I don't really always feel a great difference between where we were before Canada and where we are now. But I also do a little bit agree, not in defense of Canada, but I also think there is a little bit of concern about the O-line and what can you do with what we're working with on the O-line. So I'm sure that maybe factors in, but I agree that by the end of this season, Canada's name will be, if it's not already, will be dirt, because I can see people just turning and blaming him constantly, rightfully so in many ways. But I think because we've all said this is the season for him to prove. This is the one where everybody wants to see big changes and wants to see this more dynamic offense that we were promised from his college days. And one game, but so far, no.
Hey, I mean, I'll say this: he got Derek White on the field more than we've ever seen. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I will say this for Derek White: he's actually a pretty good pass blocker.
Well, yeah, I guess didn't he?
He's okay.
Didn't he get one? Didn't we use him once for?
He had one target. I don't know.
One target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of like window dressing on Sunday, which it's kind of odd window dressing, but
there was also a third down play where he was running a crossing route and ran right into Chase Claypool, who was running a crossing route in the other direction.
Yeah,
right.
That was awesome.
You want to talk about easy?
Brother's TJ. His brother's TJ.
His brother's
Shut
TJ.
up.
You guys know that? His brother's TJ.
Go ahead. Whenever. I want to make one more final point.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So give me a minute here. Give me a minute.
All right. You know who is a surprisingly good blocker was Jalen Warren. He
was a stud during the preseason.
Hear me out. Not only on blitz pickup where he was good in the preseason, but he was a lead blocker out on some of those Claypool end arounds that he made a couple blocks that got Claypool like 5 or 10 extra yards. That's
right.
where I thought it was more impressive that we knew he could blitz pick up from the preseason. It was that essentially being a lead blocker on those end arounds that was impressive too.
But the block of the game that he had was in pass pro. And holy shit.
It was a gunshot. Oh my God, it was awesome.
God, was that a beautiful block.
Yeah.
That linebacker didn't know what the fuck hit him.
And that's what Benny Snell doesn't do.
He can't pass block to save his life.
No, we know Tomlin. We've known Tomlin for 15 years, whatever it is. When he has running backs play, they have to be able to pick up blitzes. I mean, that's just, he's said it before. And that's why he's gone with Warren. So I'm totally fine with it. I'm kind of curious to see.
I like Jalen Warren.
I do too.
I'm a fan.
No,
I've been a week, but I'm a fan.
No, I'm right with you. He hasn't done anything to make me think I won't be a fan, at least for the time being. So, And Ryan, did you have another point? I saw your hand up there.
It doesn't matter, but Matt Cannon, his only year when he was with Pitt was 2016. They averaged like 41 points a game, and their quarterback was Nate Peterman. So take that And John Gruden loved Nate Peterman for whatever that's worth.
Oh, that's right.
I tell you what, man, that guy.
I'm sorry.
But like, I'm just like, I'm sitting there thinking, because like
Now,
Pat
here's a
Narduzzi,
guy.
here's a guy that's missed Sunday Night Football. Who are you, Mike Tirico? What's that? But no, like it's just like Matt Canada. Matt Canada had one good year, and it was at Pitt in 2016 when Nate Peterman was the fucking quarterback. And yes, they had James Conner and Tyler Boyd and whatnot, but like. I don't know. Like I tweeted this the other day. I'm defending Matt Canada now, but I don't know how Matt Canada even got the fucking job, let alone he's still the offensive coordinator this far along. You know?
Yeah. And I agree with you. And here's the other thing: is the reason that Matt Canada's expectations were high, if you will, going into this offseason, was fucking Pitt fans that watched him that 1 year.
Sure.
And they equate
5 years ago.
They equate ACC football to the NFL, which I'm sorry, it's a giant fucking difference. Okay. Yeah. There are lots. Steve Spurrier, he was a great offensive coordinator in college. Couldn't do shit in the NFL.
No.
Didn't do a fucking thing. He was awful. All right. No. So just because it worked in college doesn't mean it'll work in the NFL where everyone is good. Everyone.
I want to get to the comment that's up there, Steelers Freak saying Harris's vision, is he missing small holes?
He's just hitting not firing off very fast right now. He's not firing off very fast.
No.
And I didn't see many holes that he missed. When I went back and watched it, there weren't really any holes there to speak of. But his vision wasn't great last year. You know, it was kind of let's put it this way. He was used to Alabama holes. All right. And he wasn't getting holes like that in Pittsburgh. Mm-mm. So it was a wake up call,
well,
you know.
Well, and Ian, let me ask you this question. Does that happen a little bit if your offensive line is not good? Do you start to question where the hole is?
You do a little bit, and part of the
There's
problem,
a lot of loaded questions here.
Yeah.
Today.
And part
part
of the problem
softball,
is
Ian.
The whole
Justin Herbert's dead. That's great.
The hole you see might not be the hole that's there by the time you get there.
Absolutely.
There was a play. It was in the first half of the game that I remember watching live and saying, "Oh, Najee had a hole to the outside. Why didn't he bounce it out there?" And then when I watched it on the All-22 and you see the end zone view from behind him, you're like, "Oh, because it looks like he's got a giant friggin' hole between the guard and tackle that he can just run through." Mm-hmm. The problem was that Dan Moore got put on skates and got run right through the hole, so that by the time Najee saw the hole, made the cut, like Dan Moore's guy took him right into the hole that Najee saw. So like when I saw it live, my thought was Najee missed bouncing that outside. But when you see it from the end zone view, you're like, oh, there's a giant hole there. I understand why he ran through that. It was just that Dan Moore was terrible at run blocking the whole game. He was just on skates all game.
No, you're exactly right.
Honestly, a lot of the issue I saw with the run blocking was the backside blocking. The guys were blowing blocks on the backside, and defenders were coming around, crashing down the line and catching Najee as he was getting into the hole. So there may have been a hole there, but those backside blocks are important to keep people from crashing down across the line.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. No, I know it was a loaded question, but I think it bore out some explanation because holes in the NFL are much different than they are in college. When they open, they close very quickly. Sometimes they look like they're there, they're really not. And he did, I agree with what Freak is saying. He looks like he's looking for something, thinking it's going to be there, and it's just not.
I thought that he Sunday anyway. He couldn't fire off. He didn't look healthy. He just did not look healthy. It looked to me like everything was a delay run. Everything.
Yeah, I agree.
And that may have been partly play calling. Don't get me wrong, but it looked to me like he was waiting. and he wasn't firing off. Even last season, at least, even when he guessed wrong, he fired off into the hole. And this year, he didn't do it.
No, I agree, and I just put a comment up there from Big Ben Burner, and I'm going to get to that in a second.
They did that on the goal line. They had Gunner blocking on the goal line, trying to seal the edge. Like, this is the stupid shit that they did last year, where they were like, "Oh yeah, let's put Ray McLeod on the goal line." And
I mean,
him
honestly,
seal the edge
if Gunner had gotten
linebacker.
fucking dirty and tried to go down by his knees, I would have been fine with that. But he didn't. He just tried to take him off, around the gut, the numbers. I was like, you're going to get tossed into the fucking stands, dude.
Yeah, the effort's there with Gunner.
Don't you talk about Gunner that way?
Gunner's. I like Gunner.
I like him
really
a lot.
has impressed me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, real quick, we are excited
though.
to be lined up with Raycon. Raycon featuring new earbuds and stuff. And right now, if you go to buyraycon.com today and use code TPPN15 to get 15% off your Raycon order, that's code TPPN at buyraycon.com to score the 15% off. Buyraycon.com, code TPPN. These are very different than AirPods. They kind of sit in the hole of your ear versus kind of dropping out. They got customizable profiles, earbud functions. Great for just about any type of listening. So jump on that if you are in the market for those.
It's in the hole.
It's in the hole. Pat Freiermuth, I thought made some very athletic plays. Obviously, Trubisky found him over the middle. I thought
so did Gentry. Both the tight ends were great.
Holy shit. Zach Gentry. Did you ever think in a million years you'd see him have more than a 10-yard reception? Good for Zach. Very likable guy. Good for him. Anybody else offensively that you think you can build on? I mean, here's a question a lot of Steelers fans were asking Scarpino. Where was George Pickens?
All
right, I'm going to start out with some positives before I troll. I think Mitch might have had him on a couple throws if he had a better throw.
One for sure down the right sideline.
Yes. But now I'm going to troll. I was told George Pickens is going to bully people and he's going to fucking smack people over and all this shit. Preseason is preseason. Everybody that was all ready to throw Pickens in the fucking Hall of Fame was like, oh, where's this guy at? That shit doesn't fly in the regular season, okay? Like, this week, again, if you don't think Bill Belichick, Darth Vader, and his Darth Vader kid, but not Han Solo, I'm sorry, not Luke Skywalker. Sorry if I offend any Star Wars folks out there. Oh my God, Chief's about to make a house call. Here is a flag. Anyway, George Pickens got a little bit of the rookie medicine. I'm not giving up on him right now, but
of course not.
That's just one game.
That's just the way it is. But he's not running people over. He's not blocking people off the line like everybody thought he was going to for fucking free clicks on fucking Twitter. I said it.
I agree with everything that Ryan just said.
Said it.
However, this week, what Belichick will do every time you play him is take away your best offensive player. And your best offensive player right now is Deontay Johnson.
That's fair.
So Belichick will take him away, which will put pressure on Pickens, who will have single coverage most of the game, to step up and be a performer this week. And I'm fairly certain Mike Tomlin, who's been around for a little while, has already given George Pickens this speech. And maybe he's given the same talk to Chase Claypool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Ben. I bet you Claypool got it too.
And been like, hey, you two. He's gonna bracket DJ all game long.
Yeah.
And take him away. And you two need to step up and make some plays.
Ellie, what is your level of confidence as far as Ben just described? Deontay Johnson kind of gets taken out of the game, and now we have to find a guy to really rely on, whether it's Pickens, whether it's Claypool, maybe it's Freiermuth. I mean, what's your level of confidence that we can accomplish that, given the fact that Trubisky was and the offensive line, of course, was
if we take away those two other factors just for a moment and talk about the guys that we're looking to utilize in those moments where DJ is unavailable, I think a really good positive, if I'm going to stay on the positive side of things, is you've just named 3 people that could step up, and that's 3 of potentially 4 or 5 others as well. So I think the person there, it's about making the connection. That's when you bring in Trubisky and the O-line. Have to look at those and discuss those factors. And I know we talk a lot about a role in what we can do offensively. So I'm confident in the receivers. I'm confident the people that making the plays. What I'm worried more about is before the throw, is before those the opportunities arise. It's those people, it's the line, it's Trubisky that need to step up to give those guys the opportunity to stand in for DJ when he's taken out of the game. So I'm confident in them. What we need is that step 1 to step up first.
And that makes perfect sense, because if you don't have everything in place in the first place, then you're not going to be able to deliver the ball to those other 3 or 4 guys.
Exactly.
And that's we've seen that all too often in recent years. So Ian, if I said to you, what do you want to see? And that's what I will say to you. What do you want to see this week offensively? I mean, we've seen Matt Canada now. He's got a limited Najee Harris, I think. And if
Mason Rudolph of offensive coordinators.
Yeah, that's funny. What are you looking for this week, Ian?
I want to see touchdowns instead of field goals, and I want to see sustained drives.
Please.
Actually, more important, I want to see sustained drives. I want to see fewer 3 and outs, fewer 1 first down and outs. Like, actually, to his credit, Presley Harvin had a great friggin' game, and he had to, because they were punting a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, I want to see them sustain drives and get into some rhythm offensively. I actually thought that, a couple times in that Bengals game, they went to a little bit of a hurry up look, and it was a good move. It kind of threw the Bengals defense off a little bit, but then they would have an incompletion or get into a 3rd and long, and they'd be hurrying up to get off the field. And then your defense is on the field for 43 friggin' minutes.
Yeah.
The hurry up is good when you're sustaining drives. The hurry up doesn't help you when you're going 3 and out. So they need to sustain some drives, stay on the field longer to keep the defense off the field, and, turn short fields into touchdowns and put 7 on the board instead of 3.
And why not, instead of the hurry up, as we've explained many times over the years of this show, why not just go to a no huddle, take your time, and you still burn a little bit of clock, but at the same time you're keeping the defense, because if they try to sub, then you just snap the ball. I don't know. I'm making it sound a lot easier than it is, but seems to me that'd be better.
And I think the challenge is when you have so many new players on the field, right? You have a new quarterback, you have some new offensive linemen, you have receivers that haven't worked with this quarterback before. Like, Ben could run that muddle huddle or the no, the no huddle but not hurry up,
right?
Because he knew the playbook and could just call things out to people. But you need to be able to communicate well, and you need people that know what the hand signals are well enough that you can kind of run that stuff without huddling. If you want to do that is the challenge. You need people, and really to do that, you have to be working together for a while and have that trust that, okay, I yelled that thing. I hope my receiver out there knows what he's doing. And as we've talked about on this show before, by the end of his career, Ben was just yelling out routes and being like, defense, I dare you to friggin' stop me, because I'm just going to tell you what we're going to run.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct. And believe me, there's part of me that misses that a little bit all the time too, but it is what it is. Scarps, Mac Jones, he's got a bad back, but are we hearing that he's going to play? And if he does play, can he survive this defense? Because I think this defense is still going to be fairly active even without TJ Watt.
You watch your mouth. No, I'm being a dick. This defense, okay, Steel Dad, no disrespect. This
Not at
defense is
all.
not going to be the same as it is.
I didn't say the same. I just said active.
Active is great.
Yeah.
But I look at this as Bill Belichick is going to do whatever. If he has to run the ball 50 times this week, he's going to.
Yeah.
That's just the way he is. I'm not going to say the Steelers defense is going to be bad without him, but I just don't like the best and worst case scenario happened against Cincinnati. They probably played the game of the season week 1. I don't know if they're ever. I mean, that's an historic day for the Steelers defense. So,
Well, they kind of did last year, week 1 too. I mean, it was
numbers wise, no,
right.
but it was a Herculean effort. But it's still the Patriots. I don't care if Tom Brady's there or not. They still have good coaches. This defense is going to miss TJ Watt, and I think you're going to see it on Sunday.
Okay, that's fair. Ben, what do you expect to see from the Evil Empire come Sunday? They're 0-1 in that division. You cannot afford to get too far behind Buffalo. Buffalo's, they're running away with it. So, what do you expect to see from?
As I've already pointed out,
Emperor Hoodie.
I expect to defensively take away our best player,
right,
which is Deontay. So that's what they've done historically.
Yeah.
And then after that, as Ryan's pointed out, kind of whatever it takes on offense. If that means running the ball, if running the ball is working, they will run the ball over and over and over and over and over.
Against Buffalo, he did that.
Last year.
Sick of it.
Yeah. Threw the ball like 3 times or something.
Yeah.
Of course, part of that was the wind. I think there was this ridiculous wind, but
whatever. If it's working, you keep doing it.
Right.
Especially if you're sustaining drives, right? And we will be furious if the Steelers defense keeps giving up first downs on the ground. We will be fucking pissed.
Yeah. No, there's no question. People will be.
I'm just putting it out there.
Slightly upset by that.
Not slightly.
Significantly?
Apoplectic would be the word I would use. So he's going to keep doing. Basically, what the Steelers need to do initially is stop the damn run. They got to stop the run. Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought they played. Granted, they gave up 133 yards because they had that one long run on 4th and 1 where he just gave up contain and shit the bed. And
they also
give the Bengals credit.
Blockers there.
Go ahead. What?
Yeah.
Ian, what?
They said the 4th and 1 run, they had 5 defenders against 7 blockers on that side of the field or something like that. They were outmanned on that side.
Yeah, but I mean, there are ways to counter that, but we didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
Long story short, the Steelers gave up 3.9 yards per rush, which isn't horrible, but it's too many yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on Sunday. All right. If you take away that one long run, it's a little bit less than 3. Can't give up the big play.
Right.
If you do that, Belichick's just going to gouge you. He's just going to keep coming back to it, because if the well is yielding water, why walk away?
Yeah.
So I expect him to do some shit like that. Maybe bend some rules, or get right up upon the precipice of breaking them, but not quite get there.
Big Ben's burner just nailed it. I'm the same way. I feel the same way. He could put out 11 Mickey Mouses and I'd still be nervous.
I've been in Pittsburgh for Patriots games where we won, and I've been there for Patriots games where we lost badly. So it's a mixed bag, man. But yeah, I hate that motherfucker, obviously. He's a damn good coach. He really is.
He is.
And defensively, especially, he's a damn good coach. And then when he had Tom Brady on top of that, well, shit. Now you've got the offense to boot and the great defensive coach. Pretty hard to beat. Defensively, yeah, he's going to do what he's going to do. I'm rambling on. Offensively, he's going to do what he needs to do. And I expect them to probably win by a little.
So with that said, let's get some predictions here. And Ellie, I'm going to start with you first.
Are we in already?
Yeah, what's that?
Nothing.
Oh, Ellie, your prediction for Sunday's 1 p.m. game, and for most of you, it is a televised game nationally. There's a few areas where it's not. But again, for the second week in a row, the Steelers will have pretty much the nation's attention in the 1 o'clock window. Ellie, you believe the final score will be?
Oh, God. I don't really have a score prediction because I really don't know how this one's going to go.
Okay.
But, it worked last week to be really negative. So I'm going to say that we lose, but we might not.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to say, oh, God, this is a really tough one because I agree with everything Ben said about.
Ellie's a little stitious. I like this.
I am very, very superstitious. So now that we've all said lose, we must say that every week now until it breaks the curse. But I agree with everything Ben said about, I feel that the Patriots are a very adaptive team. If something's working, they're making it work.
Adaptive. Yeah, that's a nice word for it.
Yeah,
Good word, yeah.
That's
fucking
how
cheaters.
I feel about that team. Hate playing them. Hate that team. Hate Bill, but respect him. So I expect it to be a close-ish game.
But
I'm thinking, because I would like to think that the defense will at least keep us in it. I know that losing TJ is a big blow, but it is. I expect them to. He is obviously. He's a decoy. He's a great player, but there are other people on that defense that were just as great on Sunday. Minka being one. So I expect those to still step up. However, we cannot have them on the field as much as we did. That's not sustainable.
that's an excellent point.
So if we can just get something going, just a little something, then
Something.
yeah, just give me like a couple of first downs back to back. Like, please, I don't want these 3 and outs. Because when we get a first down, it gives me false hope, and then we go 3 and out.
Right. So you're the one. We should blame you. When they get a first down and then it goes in the toilet, it's your fault.
You know what? Oh God, yeah, go ahead. You can. But
Who's the Patriots kicker? Is it Nick Folk?
What was that? Sorry.
Nick Folk, is he the Patriots kicker right now?
Um,
I thought it was a veteran guy.
Ian might know.
I think it
It's
is
Nick Nick Folk.
Yeah. Okay. I was right.
Yeah.
All right. So Ellie, you are going with the Steelers to win?
lose.
Mm-hmm. Ian? Your
Score,
thoughts?
Ellie.
By the way,
Score.
Ian, will you be there Sunday?
I will be
Score,
there Sunday.
Ellie. What's the score?
I don't have a score because I didn't give a score last week, so I'm not.
Okay, the Patriots by how many?
I'm not saying it. I'm
All
not
right.
superstitious. I can't do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Ian will be in attendance at Heinz Acrisure Field. Stadium.
Acra sure as hell not calling it that.
Yeah.
Oh, very
I'm taking
fun.
one of my kids. I'm not sure which one yet, so they'll probably hear some language come out of my mouth they haven't heard before.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
How do you decide, Ian?
Well, there's 2 of them that are old enough to go. So
Gotcha.
one of them's going to this game and one of them's going to the Jets game, and they get to decide between themselves which one wants to go to which game.
Oh.
And then
okay.
the other ones will just wait until they're older. So
Gotcha.
How old do you have to be to go to a Steelers game, Ian?
Well, my dad took me when I was 5.
Holy
and I kind of
jeez.
grew up at the stadium and I loved it. Now, I feel like that's a choice that each parent has to make
True.
depending on how mature your kids are. Last year I took my oldest 2 kids who at the time were 10 and 8. They're 11 and 9 now. So with my kids, I waited a little bit. My
Right.
dad did not. But,
That's fair.
Yeah, very fair.
at
Learned
any
some good
rate,
words, though, didn't you?
oh yeah. At any rate, I'm gonna
God
say
bless Mr. McMeans for that.
I'm gonna say Steelers 19-13.
Oh,
Yes. There's gonna be a lot of friggin' field goals in this game. I have
Yeah.
no confidence in it.
Yeah.
I'm basically at the point where I'm like, I think both teams could score 1 touchdown, and then whoever kicks more field goals wins. So I'm going to go with Steelers 19-13, basically meaning Boswell 4 field goals and Nick Folk 2 field goals.
All right. Field goal contest for Ian. Mr. Scarpino.
Now, bear in mind, Mason Rudolph is the offensive coordinator.
That's right. Mason Root.
I just look at this and on defense, coaching wise, on defense, I feel like they're probably even, but it's still Belichick. And then on offense, I'm like, man, Matt Patricia sucks. But so does Matt Canada. Both Matts. They're doormats. Get them out of here.
Wow. Some deep thinking going on here.
12-9. No, I'm sorry. Yes. 12-9 Patriots.
12.
Wow. Nick Folk over Chris Boswell. Shame on you. Mr. Ben Anderson. Your prediction.
Well,
While Ben finishes chewing, the one thing I forgot to say was that the Patriots' offensive line is almost as bad as ours is. The Bengals was bad last week. The Patriots only have one starter, I think, on their line from last year, and they moved him from left tackle to right tackle, and everyone else is different. So they've shuffled their whole line around and drafted, what was his name, Cole Strange, who Scarps was like, he'd be a great pick in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots took him in the 1st round, and we're like, okay, so
and he gets to see Cam Hayward this week. Welcome to the NFL, babe.
Are you gonna trust a guy from like South Dakota State or wherever he was from, or Cam Hayward? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming.
I'd like to note for the record that Ian just called them the Bengals, which means he's definitely been drinking.
Eternal flame.
All right, so we've got so far we've got Ellie no score, but Patriots winning. We've got Ian 12-9.
No, 19-13.
19-13.
19-13.
And then
Steelers.
You had it what?
12-9.
12-9 Patriots.
Pats.
Okay.
Similarly, I'm going to go with a very close one. I'm going to say the Pats do not cover. I'm going to go 16-14 Patriots.
Holy jeez.
If anybody's watching, we're talking under. We're talking mega under.
Play the under, kids.
Super under.
Yeah, bet the under. Yeah.
Now, it is, for whatever this means, it is supposed to be about 85 degrees and sunny, pretty warm on Sunday.
It's not at all humid in Pittsburgh.
Never. It's never humid there. It's always a nice
big deal.
breeze.
This is that week. This is that 1 week of September where it's just shit. It's like you get like
sweating.
It is like 55, right? It's 55.
I will tell you,
now.
Having sat in Ian's seats,
a little nice
in
and chilly when you walk
game
outside.
for the fucking home opener when Ben ripped his elbow. You do not want to be there. So I admire the fact that Ian is going to go down there and brave the elements for this game, because that is a really not fun place to be sitting during the game.
It's toasty.
18 inches of plastic. It's not just toasty, it's fucking sticky.
Yeah, sticky, nasty, stinky. Yeah.
My seats are in the lower bowl on like the 10-yard line on the visitor side. So like you're in the sun all day. You're in the sun.
A lot of sun. Wear your sunscreen, Ian.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm with all of you. I think it's going to be some type of a field goal fest. Probably going to end up being a defensive or special teams type of a play that changes this. And I keep hearkening back to last year when we went into Buffalo. Everybody had us losing. We won. Everybody was all fired up coming home opener. The Raiders are not that good, and we look like crap. And
we
lost.
Say the Raiders sucked and we lost?
Yes. And I get the feeling the same type of thing is happening again. That everybody's really confident, beat a good opponent on the road. Now we come into a home game against Patriots. They're coming off a loss. So therefore, I'm going to go Patriots 20-16. That's my score.
You know, you're really negative.
Still under.
Well, we're all negative. You know, it's what we do here. We're negative.
Was Was I the
other
only
shows.
one to pick the Steelers to actually win this game?
Yeah,
I think you
probably
were
wrong, but
You
yeah.
had
All
to
right.
because you doubled down last week.
That's
you said
right.
The Steelers were going to beat the Patriots last week.
You're right. I did.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
did
the
say that.
over/under is 40.
Actually,
and a
I
half.
believe the quote
We're
was
all under.
what's his name? Mac what? Mac
Jones.
Jones.
You said
I
Mac
believe
Jones
The
sucks.
quote was Mac Jones sucks.
Mhm.
Oh, I think he
I
does.
stand by
But
that.
I
What do you think,
agree.
Mitch Trubisky? What do you think about Mitch Trubisky right now?
All right, small sample size. Like he wasn't out there enough for me to judge him adequately.
How about his footwork?
He's been in the league much longer than Mac Jones.
Okay, Mitch Trubisky is a step above a career backup, whatever that is. Like journeyman starter, I guess. Like I'd liken him to a mid to late career Vinny Testaverde. How about that?
Is
Intercept
Mac
of Verdi?
Jones?
No. Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, okay.
Mitch is good enough to travel around and start for a year or two for a team while they break in a rookie
Vinny
quarterback.
Testaverde literally put Rod Woodson into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Little more mobile than Vinny T.
Yes.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe a little better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And Ryan Fitzpatrick made a hell of a career for himself,
Fitzpatrick is awesome.
basically being the guy who would come in and start a couple games in front of a rookie. And
Yeah.
then
How
yeah.
listen?
Fitzpatrick
How
had a bunch
dare
of games
you
where he
put
was like
Mitch
really
Trubisky
good.
in the Ryan Fitzpatrick realm? I'm not even
Fitzpatrick was
joking
really
right
good for a couple of games, and then he'd be really, really bad for the next one.
He
He
was-
never knew he was going to get it. It's a mixed bag.
He
it
was always like that
Fitzmagic
guy.
or Fitztragic. That was
Yeah,
the-
Yes.
exactly.
You'd get Fitzmagic, and then 3 weeks later, you'd get Fitztragic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's just how it worked. But
Mitch isn't quite the like Jay Cutler. I'm going to throw 4 touchdowns one week and 4 picks the next week. He's not quite
All right,
that
not that bad.
Right.
bad.
I agree.
But yeah. So Ryan, you said how dare you? Is that in a how dare I sink Fitzpatrick to that level, or how dare I elevate, or how dare I put Mitch with him? Because Mitch is
Wow.
better.
How dare you lower Fitzmagic to that level?
Okay.
I mean, based on career, Ryan Fitzpatrick is way better than Mitch Trubisky.
Fair.
Especially being undrafted. Or no, was he a 7th round pick out of Harvard?
He was. Oh, I'm not sure.
Ooh, I thought he was undrafted, but I could be wrong.
I mean, we're talking the number 2 overall pick versus a guy that was either a 7th rounder or an undrafted guy.
Right?
Well, he was only
Right.
the number 2 overall pick because the Bears are idiots. But
Yeah, they are
Well,
dumb as
you
fuck.
Yeah.
They beat
They
the Niners
traded-
last week. God
they-
damn it!
they traded up to take Mitch Trubisky in a draft that also had Patrick Mahomes.
And Deshaun Watson.
And
and
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course that was.
Got to hand it to you.
Now, it didn't really work out real well for Houston,
No.
but
No. All right, we're getting out of here. Thanks for joining the show tonight. We will be back again next week to cover the Steelers game against the Patriots, and of course, look ahead to the Browns. I believe that's a Thursday nighter, isn't it?
Ryan,
Is
did Ryan hang up?
Yeah. So, damn, he left quick.
What a
the
dick.
hell? He's gonna get a freaking note in his mailbox in the morning. Oh, now he pops back in. Look at this guy. What
I
the
have
hell,
no
man?
idea what
What a
happened.
dick! What an asshole!
I think I hit.
Unbelievable.
Listen, easy over
Hey,
here.
hey, you're getting a message from HR, buddy.
That's it.
Anyway, yeah, so we got a quick
Sorry.
turnaround. We're gonna have to do the show a little earlier next week because
Right.
of the Thursday nighter. So
Oh
look for that
yeah,
coming. Yeah, look for Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Tuesday or
Anyway,
Wednesday?
Um,
Wednesday? Why would we do one on Wednesday?
what?
There's a
I'm thinking
game
Monday,
Thursday.
Tuesday.
Because we play Sunday, and then we
Monday,
turn around and go to
Tuesday.
Cleveland.
We play the
So yeah,
Fighting
we're gonna have to
Elves.
go early in the week.
Monday or Tuesday. Why would you do it
Yeah.
on Wednesday?
I would not probably.
Yeah,
More than likely. Anyway.
You're an angry elf.
you're an angry elf.
Oh, we'll be talking about the elf. Believe me.
That was Ellie
Uh,
for the listeners
What
at
is it?
home.
He's
That was
an
not me.
angry elf, right?
He's an angry elf.
He's an angry elf.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm signing off for all of these individuals. Thanks for listening, and thank you to the great folks at DEKRoofing.com down there in South Florida. Check them out if you need roofing repairs. That's what they do, kids. And hey, go Steelers.
Ravens suck. You know.